Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the AGL Super Saiyan Gohan that got his recent Extremes Awakening from the World Tournament. Now this Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan Youth, I think may now be my favorite World Tournament unit. Now look, I think he has his issues. Look, if there's an event where he can't evade, he's not going to be nearly as effective. But I do really like what he's bringing to the table as a unit. I think he's got a lot in his kit that helps everyone out. So let's talk a little bit about his kit and everything before we talk about his performance and all that. But he's an all types lead of 70%, which is neither here nor there. He raises attack and defense permanently by 30% and causes supreme damage with a medium chance of stunning. So immediately stacker, that's nice. Medium chance of stunning, that's good. Then he has attack and defense of 140%, a medium 30% chance of evading. He gets an additional 40% evasion chance when all allies are Super Saiyans or movie heroes. So this is important because it boosts his total evasion to 70%, which is actually pretty reliable. In general. He then gets an additional attack and defense of 80% for 5 turns after evading an attack, and he gives superclass allies 2 key and attack and defense of 30%, and then an additional attack and defense of 10% when all allies are superclass. So basically on any Super Saiyans or movie heroes team, if you're going to run this guy, you're getting a 40% support with 70% dodge, who stacks attack and defense, and has a stun. So seems pretty good to me. Personally overall, and yeah, immediately I just kind of like that utility. I like where everything's going. I like that overall strength and performance. So yeah, I just think in general he's a very strong performer as a World Tournament unit. And yeah, of course, disable evasion, he loses a huge chunk of power. He just becomes a stacking support. But in events where evasion is on, this guy is definitely a solid option. We're talking a unit that can get, from like the 380, 400k mark to 600k defense, pretty solid. Support 40%, very good as well. And when you couple in 70% evasion, 600k defense is good. I know it's not necessarily enough to tank supers or anything, but 600k defense, 70% support, 70% evasion, it's all good stuff. It's not going to blow anyone's mind, it's not going to make him the most OP unit in the world. Attack stat wise, he's not going to be huge, but he's good. In terms of build, you can kind of slice and dice him either way. You could potentially build him evasion, really just kind of doubling down on the evasion aspect, giving him huge levels of protection against super attacks. I think 70% evasion is enough. I don't think it gains that much from the hidden potential system. From dropping in a whole another 20% or 30%, you're dropping in like another 6% effective evasion for him. I know it's good or seems good to some people, but I prefer a little bit more additional. I like additional in crit, giving him kind of like this good presence in terms of stacking. The additional super attacks allow him to stack defense really quickly, allows him to just kind of like build himself up to an incredibly strong position, and yeah, just function really well. At least for me overall, I think he functions incredibly well, and yeah, very happy with the way his kit works and everything comes together. I think personally it's one of those units that could have a really good niche on the superheroes and the movie heroes team, on the Super Saiyans and the movie heroes. And there's plenty of ways to kind of slice and dice it. That you can make hybrid Saiyan Super Saiyans teams. You can make Goku's family Super Saiyan teams. So it's not just those two categories. There's a bunch of categories that you can kind of build out from those teams that I think makes it very good. So yeah, I'm very impressed with him. Obviously, link-wise, priority-wise, I still think he's better off being a floater. Wouldn't necessarily make him a second slot unit, per se, although you could. I mean, you very well could. In terms of crucial links, All in the Family feels like the big time link with the huge defensive burst that it gives. Just feels like it's the link that's the most needed. So All in the Family, definitely probably the priority pick out of the links. Prepared for Battle gives him good solid foundation, and yeah, he looks pretty good. I think overall at a rainbow level, really solid. At 55%, probably just enough of a hindrance to him. Remember, stats aren't super important for the World Tournament units, but they are kind of important because they do struggle a little bit, from their stat gain. They don't have the highest stat groupings, so dupes do help them a lot, and 55% might just be a little bit too low, especially in terms of stacking. So yeah, overall, like I said, link-wise, Prepared for Battle, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, all very good. You've also got All in the Family, great for Goku's family teams, or just any way to link it up and get it. There's quite a few units. Saiyan Warrior Race is also pretty decent. Sharing the Limit is okay-ish coverage for like free-to-play units. Gazer Respect is probably the one that's least likely to get, because that's very dependent on like more Piccolo or other like kid Gohans. It's not impossible, it's just not something I anticipate you getting a lot of. But it is obviously still possible to get. It is still a decent link if you can get it, but I wouldn't prioritize it because it is difficult to get, and like I said, I just don't think it's something you need to focus on. But yeah, with that being said, overall, a really good unit, really nice unit, really good foundation to work off of, and ultimately at the end of the day, a really fun pickup to use. I think this is probably one of the World Tournament units I like the most. Very similar to Tech Gohan in that he's got great usability. The difference between Tech Gohan and this Gohan can handle AoE events, yeah,